Hey, hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Nathan Pawar. So, in this video, I try to cover the how to create the Azure Cosmos DB, how to populate the data, how to create a container, and that container, how to populate the data, and how to access that data. So, for that, firstly, you need to log into your portal.azure.com using your username and password. Once you log in, if you have already resource created, those resources will be shown over here, whatever recent resource you have access. Otherwise, the default view would be like this if you don't have any services created over there. So to create the Cosmos DB, you can see that we have Azure services. You can find that Azure Cosmos DB over here. Either you can click over here or in the search also you can go and you can search for Cosmos DB. So click on that. You want to create the Azure Cosmos DB account. Click on that. So here they say that select API option. Core SQL is recommended. Azure Cosmos DB API with MongoDB. It's up to you what type of API base suits for your workload. So I'll select that Core SQL. So once you select that, by default your subscription will be populated. And if you have created a resource group, that resource group will be present over there in the drop down, or either way you can create your own resource group under that subscription. Then you need to provide the account name. Once you provide that account name, you need to provide the capacity mode. So by default it is there, provision throughput. Apply free tier discounts. I don't want to apply that free tier discount. Now go to the in global distribution, it is asking for you to select that redundancy, whether you want to enable that redundancy or not. It's up to you, like what kind of redundancy you want to select. Either you can select the you want to enable those, you can enable those, or meanwhile I will disable those because I'm just showing you how to create it. So I don't want that geo redundancy created for this. Once then go to the networking. Here you can say that how you want to exit. Currently I'm selecting all networks because my endpoints would be like private also and public also. Backup policy, how you want to your data will be backed up in the continuous 7 days or 30 days, or what would be the interval based on which it will take the backup, how many days if you want to keep that data, the retention policies, copies of the data retained, how many copies you want. By default it is showing to backup storage redundancy, geo redundant backup storage, and locally redundant backup storage. If you based on you, if you select locally redundant, so in your locally it will select copy of that database containers. And if you select geo redundant backup storage, then your backup will be stored geo redundantly, means in different regions. Go to the encryption. How you want to manage the encryption? You want customer manage key, or you want Azure to manage your encryption key? So if you select the service manage key, so Azure will manage the service encryption keys. Tag is something like if you want to give particular tag to your database while creating the Cosmos, so that tags you can insert it, or if you don't create it, it doesn't matter. Click down review plus create. Validation failed. Require information is missing or invalid. Something I missed it. estimation created in the basics. I have not provided. Okay, value does not. So here I have to select that East US because for my subscription policy is created that in West US I cannot create it the resource. Hence you can see that error validation failed. Okay, now if you go to till the end, review plus create. See, now you can see that validation is success. Now you can create your Cosmos DB. So it will show you that initializing the deployment, you have to wait for it till the deployment is completed. So now see, deployment is in progress. Let's wait for it. In a minute it will get deployed and you can access that resource. So this deployment will take 10 to 15 minutes. So I guess we can come back again, and after 15 minutes I will try to show you. Yeah, it's completed. The deployment is completed. Now you can click on your go to your resource. So this is how your Cosmos DB instance will look like. By default, like it's saying that your Cosmos DB was created. Now you just have to create the container. How you can do that? You go to the Data Explorer. It will open your Cosmos DB instance. Here you can also watch the video if you want to know more details about it. So this is your default Cosmos DB will look like. So here you can create the new container. So here once you open that, click over here. So it will ask you the details whether you want to create the new container and other things. So suppose this is my to do list. You can give the proper name. You can provide the container name. Container is items underscore. You say that you have to provide the partition key. So based on that, the data get loaded over there. So in this case, my based on my IDs, the items get loaded into the items container. Container throughput. So once is the auto scale based on like how many data is coming. So it will adjust that RUs. But to keep in mind that all the things are like Azure is like pay as you go service. So that's why like you need to very careful about how you are like assigning the RUs to that particular resources. So here I don't know, just for the practical purpose I'm using like, so you can see that if I'm using 400 RUs, the hourly charge will be 0.032 dollar, and in monthly it will cost me $23. So here I'm just giving you 600. So now you can see that it got changed. Analytics off, advanced, and now you just clicked on OK. So under data, your new container will be populated. Let's just wait for that container to be created. Now you see, under data, my to-do list is the name. Under that, I have the container items. In items, if you want to add those items, you can go over here, click on the items. By default, you see that query is there. We don't have any data, that's why it's showing blank. From new item, if you clicked on that new item, the new item will be created and you can populate those data with that JSON files. So I'll do the same. Clicked on the plus item, new item. So by default, this window will come. So it's up to you, like whether you want to add the details under it or you want to use your own JSON. In this case, I have my own JSON. So first name Jackson Patel, is 26, salary, company is vested false. These are the fields. So if you clicked on the save, the item will get created in that container and you can see that. And by default now the ID is created, which is our partition key, and then by default some other fields were added. TS is the system time, so you can use the same query to, suppose now if you have multiple items, suppose just for your practical purpose I'm showing you again. Suppose now what I did, I'm adding one more item. So this times I say that it's Aksha Patel. Okay, his age is 27. His like salary is like 8,000. His company is ABC. His vested also like true. So when I save this, you can see that one more item got created. Suppose you have hundreds of records, and if you want to find out like particular records and you know some details about it, so how you can do that? You go to the container, click on the new SQL query. So by default, select star from C. C means container. So here, where suppose if you know the name of your like items, suppose I know the first name is Aksha. So what I can do, where C dot first name equals to Aksha. If I execute this query, you can see that that record get populated over here. So this way, firstly, how to create an item? You clicked on this new item and then you save it. That way, your items get created in your container. How to retrieve those items using the query? You clicked on the container, you clicked on the new SQL query, and in new SQL query, you will provide in where conditions what are things you want to find out. So this is the one way, like in the Cosmos DB, you can create your database, you can create your own container, different containers can be there, and then those containers will have like different items in it. So it's up to you, like how you want to design those things. Yeah, suppose I want to change his name, so directly I can go over here, and then if I do add or update it, it will let me update it. Okay, because all the things are there, whatever value we provided, the ID was there. If the ID was not there, then it won't let me update it. You saw in the previous example. So now you can check that the age age. change to 29. Over here, if you saw that Akshar Patel is age 27, if I again execute this query, you can clearly see that it will get updated. Yeah, now you can see that 29 is there. So in this way, like, you know that how to create the database instance in Azure portal, how to add your database and your container, how to add the items in your container. Then you say that how to update those items, how to find the results based on those items. These are the things that we have discussed over here. So in this video, what we have covered how to create your Azure Cosmos DB instance. How we done that? We go to the Azure Cosmos DB. We clicked on the create new Cosmos DB connection. In that Cosmos DB, if you go to the Data Explorer, you'll have your under data. You'll have your database. Under that, you can click, means you can add the new container in your database, and in that container you can add the items. How to add the items, how to update the items, or I can show you how to delete delete the items also. Like, if you want to delete something, you just have to click on that items and you can click on the delete. So it will ask you, do you want to delete that items? If you clicked on delete it, the items will get deleted. So if you have any questions on this, like how to create the Azure Cosmos DB, how to create your own database, and how to create the containers under it, how to access those container using the query, let me know. I'll try to answer your questions. Thank you so much.